So, you want to be a dungeon master.
So you want to be a dungeon master.
So you want to be a dungeon.
So you want to be a dungeon master.
So, you want to be a dungeon master.
That's great. We're here to help. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Justin. This week, we are celebrating. Sort of, at least. I recently was able to be in a charity stream that helped raise $350 for the Trevor Project. And part of that was the Incredible Shark Master, that's their online name for the record, the Incredible Shark Master donating to get a custom homebrew subclass. Well, they decided they wanted a Paladin subclass, specifically the Oath of Self-Discovery. So Taylor and I are going to each showcase a different interpretation of the mission. So let's get into it.
Let's do it.
But first... Always gotta have a but first. As DMs, how do we handle homebrew at our table? And when I ask that, I really am kind of talking more about like when a player, since we're going to be making a homebrew today, when a player approaches you as a DM and says, hey, for my character, I was thinking about using this homebrew subclass, or can I use these homebrew magic items, or can I use this homebrew species, or da-da-da-da-da. What do we do? How do we handle that?
I feel like I take this stance every time. It depends.
Yeah.
It depends.
Honestly, we need to reach out to that company.
Yeah.
We need to reach out to Depends and be like, you don't realize how much of an opportunity you're missing by not investing. And so you want to be a DM because we bring you up all the time.
All the time. No, but I really, for the most part, I'm okay with it. Especially now that I'm a little more seasoned. I think experience comes a lot into play with stuff like this, because there are times when homebrew items or just straight up magic items out of the book can alter your game in ways that you're not ready for or don't expect, and can potentially make things not as fun for other players. So I try to, now make sure that, one, it's not too broken. Two, sometimes these homebrew classes are seem like really fun on paper, but then you get into the actual class and they're not as fun. I'm talking about some of I think it's a barbarian subclass where it's all based on the spiky shield thing. And that just does not
the battle
seem fun,
rager.
Yeah, the battle rager barbarian. That subclass seems pretty cool on paper, but I can tell, I can read it and look at it and go, that's not going to be fun for a whole campaign.
Dude.
I mean, and one shots versus long-term campaigns are another thing you've got to take into consideration. But for the most part, I'm okay with it. I definitely have to read it first. I'm not going to be like, okay, go for it. It's definitely okay, let me take a look, and I'll make a decision after I read over this and contemplate for a minute.
Yeah, no doubt. I think you nailed it, though. It comes down to I'll take a look at it. If it doesn't feel immediately broken or crazy right from the jump, because it kind of, sometimes it depends on where they're getting it from,
right.
Who made this homebrew? Did you make this homebrew in your free time and you don't have any experience putting out game design D&D content? I'm going to feel a little weary, at least, or wary, and I'm going to check it out. And if it seems good, by all means, most of the time I'll say yes. If it's good, if it seems okay, then I'll say yes. I don't really care, right? But sometimes it will depend on that kind of, has it gone through playtesting? Because if you're getting a quote-unquote homebrew subclass from Cobalt Press, and it's a published material, I'll instantly say yes. I might not even look at it. I'll just be like, yeah, if Cobalt Press put it out, you're fine. But I will always leave the door open for adjustments in the future, especially for longer campaigns. For one-shots, bring it the fuck on. Let's go nuts, because let's playtest it. I don't give a shit.
Right.
I mean, as long as here's the thing. Now it goes all back to the adult diapers, because it does depend. Because because for people listening who aren't aware, maybe you are listening from outside the country. I don't know if this brand exists anywhere else, but in America, there's an adult diapers brand called Depends. because you can depend on them, I guess. So when we make that joke, just as a heads up, I don't love explaining jokes, but I feel obligated since I know we have international listeners. Anyway.
Let him Google it.
You bigot. So
bang.
I do feel like if one person is playing a homebrew class and everybody else is not, it can present as an imbalance, you know?
Yeah.
And so that could potentially, it not going to definitely lead to issues, but it could. And so it's just something to be like cognizant of, just be aware of that. But yeah, I think for the most part, homebrew's fine. It, like I said, it kind of, for me, depends on who's making it. What is the purpose of this game? Does it fit the context of the setting and the type of story we're trying to tell? And yeah, is it broken? Does it seem too weak? Does it seem like it has gone through the playtesting that might be required to play at this level, you know? But I do like always, and this is true for homebrew magic items especially, because I will often give out homebrew magic items that I've made and have not playtested. So that's what home games are for sometimes, is practicing and playtesting your own stuff. So you give it to the player and you say, hey, just so you know, I homebrewed this item. It might be OP. So if we find through the gameplay that it is way too powerful, just as a heads up, I might reduce that plus 12 to a plus 5, you know, because why am I giving you a plus 12 sword? You know, maybe that's on me.
Yeah.
The power creep is real. Okay. But yeah, I think homebrew is fun. I mean, I'm okay, and I understand why some dungeon masters and game masters might just as a blanket statement be like, no homebrew, because it is easier. It just instantly is a little bit easier if no one's using homebrew, right? From a balancing standpoint. But think of the cool opportunities. Think of the cool things. Like, you're putting a lot of limitations on yourselves when, for all you know, there's some really cool material out there from different creators and different points of view and stuff that you're missing out on, you know? I can think of a bunch of content creators that we've become friends with over the course of our D&D careers that make incredible homebrew shit. So why not? You know, I have some of them playing in like one-shots with us in the month of July, and they've asked me if they can use their own homebrew stuff for their characters, and I've like, fuck yes, that's hilarious. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
I think that's so funny. I also super appreciate that confidence, that like self-belief of like, yo, I made this item. It's sick. Can I use it? Hell yeah, dude.
Go for it.
Go for it. But let's get into it.
Let's get into speaking of homebrew stuff. Let's get into our homebrew.
Speaking of homebrew, so today we're dealing with the Oath of Self-Discovery Paladin subclass homebrew. But what does that mean? So I'll kick us off if you don't mind.
Sure, go for it.
So obviously this particular request came during, you know, depending on when we schedule these podcast recordings or record them and when they publish, there's a delay sometimes. But like this mission of ours to create these subclasses, and we just for fun, we decided to each make our own version of it just because why not? You know, we're fucking rock stars. Let's just do it. You know? and we love our listeners and followers so much. Let's give them more content, you know? That's how generous we are.
Yeah.
Toot my own horn over here. So this happened during Pride Month, an important time around the world, but especially in America. You know, a very important thing in LGBTQ culture and history, and showing that we should be proud of ourselves. We shouldn't have to hide behind all these different things. I'm a member of that community, so it's super important to me. And so that was the point of this fundraiser, to raise money for the Trevor Project, which is an incredible organization that seeks to reduce suicidality in queer and trans and LGBTQ plus youth. And if you're following any news from where you are, the current administration in America is actively trying to take away money from suicide hotlines, and what a fucking disgusting situation is happening. So
the government in the US right now is a flaming pile of dog shit.
Yeah, it's a fascist despot, but we don't want to get too into it. You guys know how we feel. enough said. Feel free to follow us on all the socials. You'll see us talk about it. But that's where this comes from. So even though, $350 doesn't sound like the most money, but still every dollar counts. It was an incredible cause. So if you're able to, the Trevor Project accepts donations. That would be an amazing thing. But that's where we got this idea, oath of self-discovery. This idea of discovering who you are and living your truth is kind of one way to interpret it, which is why this is so fun to see how Taylor, because I haven't read any of Taylor's stuff. I've intentionally not read anything that Taylor put down on the sheet. So I have no idea how Taylor chose to interpret the oath of self-discovery. But here's how I sort of interpreted it. So for me, the concept of self-discovery is a journey as well as a destination. It's not just about the final place. It's also about the path of getting there, right? So it's not just dropping the ring into Mordor. It's all of the traveling to get there, right? And then I also played into just the concept of pride, of loving yourself and the confidence that is possible from that. And so with that in mind, since normally subclasses, especially if you're going from any of the source material, like the books or anything, there's always like a paragraph, a little blurb about, the type of people who would undertake this subclass. And for Paladins, they also do something really cool. I like it a lot because I think it offers a lot of role play opportunity for Paladins. Is with each subclass, they have tenets. So these are like the pillars of your oath. Like these are the 3 things that you should aspire to in order to maintain the oath that you have taken in this particular regard. In this case, self-discovery. So for the one I made, the tenets are: remember who the fuck you are, which is actually comes from,
hell yeah.
I have a bracelet that I wear 24/7. And I've been wearing it for 2 years, I think, actually, which is fucking crazy. It's a really interesting material that isn't like cloth. Like it's almost more plasticky or something like that, or like a recycled material. So it doesn't it's not like one of those friendship bracelets that starts to stink over time because you never take them off and take showers with them. That was me in college. Anyway, and then there's this little gold section, or at least gold plated probably, right? But whatever. And then etched into the gold, it says, remember who the fuck you are. And my mom got that for me and my sister one Christmas. And it's like one of those, sometimes, I don't know, the tiniest tangent, sometimes for like holidays and birthdays and stuff, when you are receiving gifts, I have always noticed over the past like 10 years of my life, sometimes it's the smallest, cheapest, like not cheap, but like least expensive gift sometimes that makes the biggest impact on me and is something that I will keep for years to come. And this is a tiny example of that. Like this bracelet probably costs like $20 and I fucking love it. But anyway, so the first one, remember who the fuck you are. The second one, a tiger doesn't concern itself with the opinions of sheep.
Hell yeah.
The third one, actions speak louder than words. So
hell yeah.
I mean, that second one is like a mantra that I truly live by in my day-to-day life, just because being a queer presenting person, like I paint my nails, I like sometimes I'll like be a little, I guess, quote unquote limp wristed in the way that I talk with my hands a fuck ton, and like I'll wear rainbow flag stuff every once in a while and different things here and there, right? And I gotta be honest, like I'm constantly blocking people on our YouTube, constantly. And it's a fucking tragedy and it's annoying and I wish I didn't have to do it, but at the end of the day, those people are sheep and I'm a tiger. And a tiger doesn't concern itself with the opinions of sheep. So like their hate and bigotry literally rolls off my back like water. I don't value their opinion because I think that they're bigoted, and therefore I kind of don't value them as people. I recognize that they're human beings. I'm not trying to dehumanize anybody, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, what?
Well,
like,
I mean, yeah,
if you believe that, then I don't care about any of your opinions.
Yeah. It's kind of the thought of don't listen to criticism from somebody you wouldn't ask for advice.
Perfect. Yeah, that's just another way of writing this. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Incredible. So anyway, that's those are my tenets. What about you, Taylor?
So I am I guess loosely part of the LGBT community. Not more ally than anything. the concept of that part of self-discovery is not something that I really had to come up with. However, I have been neurodivergent my whole fucking life, and I've lived and been swimming in a sea of neurotypical people my entire life. And it's caused me a lot of I've feeling like an outsider a lot.
Yeah.
Of, my dad, I love him to death. He did what he thought was best for me, put me in all of these like gifted programs. I went to private school because it was better, and because I have been pretty smart my whole life, but it just further, there are things like I wish I had gone to public school. I wish I had gotten that experience of the real world before I turned 18, because when I turned 18 and kind of moved out of the house, I went fucking nuts, because I had grown up in this little bubble of this is how the world is. And it's not how the world is. It's not how people act in real life. And so my whole kind of path of self-discovery was kind of learning that even though my brain works differently than other people's, that I might be a little bit different, a little quote unquote weird to some people. We're all people, the world is, we're all people. So it was kind of a journey of empathy for me and learning to see the world through other people's eyes. So the core tenets for my oath of self-discovery, the first one is open your mind to the ideas of others. Kind of the thought of, just because you think one way doesn't mean that other people's way of thinking is wrong. So it's that kind of idea. The second one is my fuck you society tenet. Resist those that would seek to conform the world to only their ideologies. Anybody who's trying to wipe out the thought processes, the culture, the lifestyles of other people and make it what theirs is wrong. Yeah, the world is a better place for, the world is such a better place for the diversity and for the just sheer differentness of everybody.
Yeah.
And then the last one was a lesson that I've really had to learn the hard way. You're never the smartest person in the room, ever. Kind of learning that humility of, because like I said, coming up, I was in all these gifted programs and this, that, and the third, and I thought I was smart shit. And then I met somebody with like street smarts and realized how actually stupid I am.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, because it goes to the question of what is smart.
Right.
What does it mean to be smart or intelligent, right? Because it's like back, I think it might be an Albert Einstein quote, or it's been attributed to Albert Einstein, but the idea of like, well, if smartness is like based in, I don't know, mathematics, then I'm going to fuck it up, actually. It was something to the effect of like, you know what? I'm going to pop it in some point in the podcast. You're going to have to keep listening, listeners, because at some point I'm going to nail this quote.
But yeah, so that's my kind of my journey of self-discovery, was learning that, everybody, I'm not the only one that thinks differently. Everybody thinks differently. It's just a matter of perspective and being able to understand what other people have gone through to, just, I guess, not be an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Valuing other people's skills and stuff like that. Like, for example, like I hate cars. I don't give a shit about them. I don't care to know them. I'm not interested in it as a thing. I see somebody, on Instagram be like, I got a Lamborghini. And I'm like, you're an idiot. But also, that doesn't mean that I think mechanics are idiots or something like that, or blue collar workers in general, just because I went to college. Right. I don't even use my degree. It just sounds fancy when I tell people I have a neuroscience bachelor's, but like, I'm not using it, obviously. Look at us. But, so like, yeah, the idea of like, what does it mean to be smart? Because it obviously smart in the context of like book smart is obviously what people think of often. But even that is can be easily taken out of context, because you look at some grifters like Ben Shapiro, and it's like, is he smart? He's book smart, I guess. He's good at talking. We know that much, but he said some dumbass shit over the years, so I don't know.
Right.
Right? Like, it's like, yeah, he probably does great at the SATs. But does that matter?
Right.
Is that what we're talking about? Like, what is the context of these skills and in these abilities and different people's strengths? And so, yeah, I think that's a great one. I think that's a really good point. And I like that you mentioned empathy, because I think I've been seeing a lot lately, especially at the state of the events of the country and the world, of this idea of like, oh, why did I get radicalized? Empathy.
Right.
And that powers me up. I love that. I love that our love of other people who are not our own is what is making us be such like intense resistors of what's going on.
Right.
I do appreciate that. Amazing. Hell yes. I love that Paladins have these tenets. I just think it's a fun roleplay thing. It's a nice little guideline. The same way that some people, like in our games, for example, like we mostly hand wave alignment, but we can choose to use it as a guideline. And that's how I feel about tenets. Like, I don't personally, if I'm a DM and I have a paladin in the game, I'm personally not going to be like, you now must be an oath breaker because you did a thing against one of your you know what I mean? That's just me personally. Right. Unless the player brings that up as like an idea of like, hey, listen, I think it could be really cool down the line if I break one of that's different. But man, when that happened to me in Baldur's Gate 3, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And then they were like, pay 1,000 gold and you can get your oath back. I was like, whoa, this is literally organized religion.
Capitalism strikes again.
It was crazy. Anyway, let's get into these subclass builds. Oh, yeah. And by the way, since everyone was so patient, I found the quote. And I was correct. It is misattributed to Albert Einstein. I don't think people think that it probably has more to do with like a very old allegory or like parable or something like that. But the quote is, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Yeah. And I'm a big fan of that quote.
That is it. We need all types of intelligence to make this crazy ass world turn.
Absolutely. We all have our own strengths. Speaking of strengths, level 3. Channel Divinity and Oath spells. So right off the bat, kind of simplifying what it means to create a Paladin homebrew subclass, kind of breaking it down. You get stuff at level 3, level 7, level 15, and level 20. And I kind of just took a look at all of the existing subclasses in both. I think I was kind of specifically looking at 2024, and I just kind of made some sweeping generalizations so that it was easy to create a homebrew class. So I was like, okay, at level 3, you get a Channel Divinity thing, and you start to get your Oath spells. And so for my Oath of Self-Discovery, I'll start with just the Channel Divinity. I have an ability called My Own Skin, aka like you're comfortable in your own skin is sort of the vibe. And I thought it was really interesting because I think I've seen this before. There's like the Oath of Redemption Paladin has this ability, or not the exact ability, but has a Channel Divinity that is a reaction. And I think that's kind of cool. So My Own Skin Channel Divinity, it takes a reaction and you can instantly end a condition that has been placed on you. So that's the trigger, is somebody poisons you, somebody charms you, somebody it stuns you, somebody does something to you. I probably would go more in depth of like, there's got to be like one or two that actually don't make sense for this. But for the sake of the outline, I didn't go in super in depth. But the idea that like somebody is instilling a condition onto you and you are saying, nope, actually no.
Yeah, I like that.
And I think that's really powerful, but also like you don't get that many Channel Divinities. So I felt like it was pretty balanced actually, where I was like, this doesn't feel that game breaking actually. Because they use their Channel Divinity, they're not charmed anymore. Okay, maybe the bad guy can just try and charm them again the next turn. Like there's nothing that says that they can't. So it's like, I didn't think that it was that powerful, but also it is pretty powerful because depending on the clutchness, the clutch capability of this, I mean, it's through the roof.
Right.
this could be the most fucking clutch thing where they're like, actually, you're stunned. And you're like, no, I'm not.
Always going to be relevant. Like, that's a channel divinity that's literally always going to be relevant.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So I had fun with this one, and I like the idea of it being because you're prideful. You're just like, you believe in yourself so much. And you're so comfortable in your own skin that somebody else
fucking change me.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody else is trying to change you. They're trying to put this outside condition on you, and you're going, absolutely not. I'm good enough as I am. I don't need that shit. And you wipe it off. And I was like, ooh, I like this idea.
Nice.
That's what I got for Channel Divinity.
Okay. For my Channel Divinity, I'm calling it the Empathic Bond, and this actually gets powered up. Most of my abilities are going to have something to do with this. It's a bonus action. And basically what it is you and a number of creatures up to your charisma modifier will share damage for 1 minute. As in, one person gets hit, that damage, if you've got 5 people linked up, that damage gets cut into fifths and everybody takes it.
Whoa. And I see here it says willing creatures.
Willing creatures. Yeah, you can't put like a bad
like
guy
an enemy.
in this.
Every time
exactly.
Yeah. I'm rubber, you're glue.
Right. Yeah. No. This is strictly, but like, I was just kind of thinking about like parties that have more than one tank or something like that. It would make that a little more effective. Just kind of this sharing of everybody is sharing the weight or the actual the burden of the party. Like everybody's in it together.
No, I like that. I think that's I know that there's like a spell called Warding Bond, which is like little similar, but it's really specific to only one person, and it doesn't work in the other direction. It only works in one direction, and it's also a concentration spell, which is like a whole thing. So there's like so many little things about it where it's like that's a cool spell, but I almost never see anyone take it. Whereas this. Very cool. And it's a bonus action, which is pretty sick. And it lasts for a minute, so you're probably just going to get that one fight in. And I like that it's tied to your charisma. Obviously, that makes sense mechanically for paladins, but it also is like, it's not every day that you see a paladin player maximize their charisma. It's possible. Depends how you guys do stats, all of those things, right? But it's not often. It's more likely that paladins will put more into strength and maybe constitution, and then charisma is like either the second or third most important thing. Right. So,
yeah. But and like I said, it will get the empathic bond does get kind of powered up more. Like this is cool. It gets cooler.
Sick. I can't wait. Okay. Awesome. Then we got our oath spells, just like cleric domain spells. These are always prepared for you. You can always have these on your list of available spells that you can cast. Obviously, paladins are half casters, so you know it's a little bit different. The highest we're ever going to get is 5th level, but here we go. So at 3rd level, with my particular oath of self-discovery, you're going to get Charm Person and Sanctuary. Charm Person is just one of those where I'm like, I like the idea of like you as this paladin are so confident and believing in yourself that it is almost infectious. It is almost like alluring, where like it gives off this sort of like ability to just be like, whoa, you're really charming. And I kind of like that. That's why I chose that spell. And then Sanctuary speaks for itself a little bit. You're helping out your buddies. You know, you're giving them Sanctuary because that's important. And then at 5th level, we get Enthrall. Same idea as the Charm Person thing. Yeah. And we also get Mirror Image because, hey, I believe in myself so much. What if there was 3 of me? I love looking in the mirror. You know? And I was like, damn, I love that, actually. It was something else before, and then I switched it to Mirror Image because I was like, oh, that's sick. Not to mention, a Paladin with Mirror Image is kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Then at 9th level, I got Spirit Guardians, because why the fuck not, dude? Number 1, it's a dope ass spell. Number 2, when my idea of this sort of pride mixed with self-discovery and stuff like that, part of that, to me at least, even though this is worded as self-discovery, you're discovering yourself, for me, I think a big part of that, at least in my experience, is finding community. And so
Yeah.
That I used Spirit Guardians as like, that's kind of my theming with Spirit Guardians, is the idea that you're like summoning a bunch of friends. You're like summoning a community to help you fight. And I was like, that's cool.
Hell yeah.
And then I put tongues because of the ability to communicate with people and just like have more communications, form those bonds, continue to spread love and self-discovery and stuff. So that kind of made sense to me. 13th level, we got Charm Monster for the same reason as Charm Person, and Staggering Smite. I thought this was really cool because not only is Staggering Smite just cool, but it also does psychic damage. So this idea of Staggering Smite is my, like, most of these spells that I chose are like, they have these cute kind of idealistic, lovely reasons of why I chose them. Staggering Smite is like, oh, you are yelling at me because my nails are painted? Staggering Smite! Ba-bow! Fuck you! And so that's why that one's there.
Hell yeah.
Same as the next one, because at 17th level, we get Steel Wind Strike. I just can't pass up this spell. It's so fucking sick.
Such a good spell.
Hell yes. I love this spell. And then last but not least, and this is important because this spell will come up later on, similar to how your Channel Divinity is going to get powered up a little bit. I've decided to use a spell that you learn and power that up a little bit. At 17th level, the second little oath spell that you get is a new one. This is a new spell from 2024. It's called Yolande's Regal Presence. It is an action. It has a range of self. It has all the components, VSM. Its concentration lasts a minute. You surround yourself with unearthly majesty in a 10-foot emanation. Whenever the emanation enters the space of a creature you can see, and whenever a creature you can see enters the emanation or ends its turn there, so practically all the time, you can force that creature to make a wisdom saving throw. On a fail, and it says you can force that creature, which means you don't have to do this to your friends. You can choose who gets hit by this, but they'll make that wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 4d6 psychic damage and has the prone condition, and you can push them 10 feet away.
Wow.
Yeah, so 4d6, let's be honest, because Paladins are half-casters, 17th level, 4d6 is just not that much. But we're talking like every turn, they could potentially be taking this 4d6, being knocked prone, and being pushed away.
Right.
So when it's their turn, they have to use half their movement to get up. Then they have to come back to you. Like, let's say your character has Sentinel. Fucking forget about it. Polar Master, get out of town. What are we doing? You know? And on a successful save, the target takes only half damage, and that's all that happens. The other things don't happen. And a creature makes this turn only once per turn. So you can't, like, put them in the aura and then back up and then come back in and then back up and then come back in.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you have a lot of movement. Normally, this spell is only available for bards and wizards, but I gave it to the paladin.
Nice.
Because, again, Regal Presence. It totally fits.
Yeah. You are the Pride Titan.
Exactly. The Titan of Pride.
Yeah.
All right.
So for my spells, I kind of went like psionic with it a little bit, and I'll kind of get into like just kind of that whole, like all the tenets and stuff are about kind of your way of thinking versus other people's way of thinking. So like a lot of them are shifting people's opinions types of spells.
Yeah.
Starting at level 3 though, I went with Healing Word, just because it's one of those ones. I know Paladins get it as part of their spell list. It's just nice to not have to spend a known spell on it. And then I picked Dissonant Whispers.
Sick.
So getting into their mind and getting into the bad guy's mind and messing with them.
Yeah. Imagine doing that, just getting into a bad guy's mind and going, love is love. And they're like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So moving further down that, at 5th level, I picked Detect Thoughts and Suggestion, because that's a wombo combo of spells. Yeah. And again, it's doing stuff to get into the bad guy's mind and change it, basically.
Yeah.
At level 9, I did Enemies Abound, which is a spell that I think might be newer. But basically what it does...
It was in 2014. I don't know if it was in an edition. It might have been like a Xanathar spell or something. But,
okay.
I've tried to cast it on you guys before, and it got counterspelled. I remember exactly when and where it happened, and I was furious because when I found this spell, I was like, "Ooh, this spell's actually really interesting."
Yeah, because basically what it does is it makes the target think that everybody is an enemy at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to basically choose to attack. Like when they have to basically choose to attack the closest thing to them. If that happens to be their allies, it happens to be their allies. So I like that. Again, getting into the brain, fucking with it. And the other one that I did was Fast Friends, which is just a souped up version of the Friends spell. And so Friends only lasts a minute. Fast Friends last an hour.
Whoa.
Basically the same wording, all that stuff, as far as like you're not going to be able to tell them to do something that's going to hurt them or somebody else or anything like that, but they're charmed for an hour rather than a minute. They still know at the end of it, they still know that they were charmed and all of that stuff. But again, just that, hey, we're buds. Come on. Why are you going to come in and attack me? We're friends.
I love that. What I will say really quickly before you move on, because I just looked up Enemies Abound. That spell is sick as hell, actually. Because when you have a spell like Confusion, I know it's also on your list as well, which is amazing. I don't mean to cut you off and spoil that. But,
no, you're good.
But Confusion, like one of the abilities that's like, oh, you hit a friend or like you hit the nearest person to you or whatever. And a lot of spells that do that, it always specifies that it has to be a melee attack, which is like so annoying unless you're doing it to the barbarian or something. It's like, oh, well, fuck, I did it on the wizard, so they're definitely going to miss. And even if they hit, it's a D4 if I'm lucky because they have a dagger. Like, it's a little annoying. Enemies Abound, that is not the case.
Right.
It says specifically it must choose the target at random from among the creatures it can see within range of the attack, spell, or other ability it's using. So it can even do ranged attacks. Like, that is insane. That is awesome. And it even has a little caveat of forcing opportunity to... this spell's great.
Right. Yeah. It's a really good spell.
I can see why they didn't give it an upcasting bonus, because that would be gnarly to upcast this.
Right.
And you hit multiple people. That would be fucking nuts. But that is a really powerful spell, because I'll tell you, because it's 3rd level, it's very... If you're using 2014 rules for counterspell, it is very easily counterspellable just because of its level. But man, that spell's awesome. Okay, continue. I'm so sorry.
So moving on to 13th level. This is our 4th level spells. I picked Confusion, like you said, and also Psychic Lance. Again, just leaning into this whole psionic whatever. Psychic Lance is basically just a mental freaking damage spell.
It's so cool. Yeah.
For my 5th level spells, the first one that I picked was Awaken. So basically, you've become so in tune with other people's way of thought that you are now able to impart thought onto another creature.
Oh, that's really funny. That's awesome. I would love to have Awaken in a game.
Yeah.
That'd be so fun.
So Awaken, and then Telepathic Bond is my other 5th level spell. Just makes sense.
Great spell.
As like this whole like empathy, I've got this empathic bond thing that we're working on in this too, of just that connection between the party. So Telepathic Bond just makes sense.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Okay. Sick. All of these seem fun. We went in such interesting, like obviously they're similar but different. So it's really interesting to see them side by side like this. Okay. So level 7. Now it was really interesting because when I was going through the 2024 subclasses for Paladin, not every Paladin gets an additional aura at 7th level, but most of them do. I can't remember off the top of my head which one doesn't, but one of them doesn't. And I was like, oh, interesting. I hate it. Not that the ability is bad, but like I want another aura. That's like, for me, auras go hand in hand with smites. And in 2024, I'd argue that smites aren't even the main thing anymore, because the stuff they did with Divine Smite, auras are just sick as hell. The Aura of Protection is badass out of the gate. Not out of the gate, but 6th level, I think. And so I really love the idea of 7th level adding another aura to that it goes in line with your oath. And so for me, at level 7, you get live your truth while in your aura of protection. So that way it just uses the same radius as the aura of protection. When you hit that higher level where the aura increases to 30 feet, like it just all plays into the same measurements, you know? You and your allies gain the immutable trait. You cannot have your form or shape changed against your will.
Nice.
It's really, really specific.
Yeah. Mine
it's
is
one of
also
those
very
things where
specific.
yeah, I was thinking more and more about it as I did it. Like I loved this idea thematically, right? But mechanically, like, when is that going to come up? How often are players getting polymorphed, you know? So like, there is an argument to be made that this is actually hella weak. And I recognize that, and I hear that, and I take that.
But it's very on brand.
But it is super thematic, but I do think it could be changed or added to. Maybe you add one other thing to it.
Right. No, I like it though. Yeah, it's definitely
it's thematic as hell.
Very
It works
on brand.
Works perfect. Exactly. It's on brand, but I do think it's weak, and I recognize that before people email us. Just so you guys know. I know. But that's my level 7.
Yeah, mine is also very could be interpreted as weak because the amount of times that it pops up is very limited. But I called it not so different, and you and the allies in your aura can't be charmed to fight each other. If an effect tries to make you, the command has no effect, and you remake the saving throw. So if you get charmed or dominated or something like that, and the bad guy's like, "Oh, go attack your friend," no, it doesn't seem right for me to, attack an ally.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So the remaking of the saving throw, is that for like a charm effect that doesn't necessarily make you fight a friend? Because like, for example, charm person, you wouldn't fight your friend, but like dominate person, you would, or you could.
Right. So that's kind of where it comes into play. Like if it was dominate person and they gave you a command that was anything other than attack your friends, it would not trigger the remaking of the saving throw. The only thing that would trigger it is, hey, you're under my control now. Go fight the barbarian.
Okay. I see what you mean. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, again, super, super thematic. I think we did the exact same thing for level 7. We both made ones that are super on brand and are also pretty conditional.
Very conditional, yeah.
But that's what happens with Homebrew. You got to put down your first thoughts. You got to put down your first drafts. You got to hit them again and then talk about them with friends and play test them and then hone them until they're good. So I think we're definitely on the right track for sure. I think other than like maybe changing some verbiage and stuff, I think I'd actually be okay if like for yours, I think I would love it if it just straight up is like you and your allies in your aura cannot be charmed to fight each other. Yeah, I know you're right. You do need to add another sentence after that. I was going to end it right there, but you're right, because you could be dominated and then also have the person be like, no, I'm not going to have you fight your friends. I'm going to have you just walk a mile that way.
Right.
And it's like, okay, yeah, you're right. Technically, that wouldn't go against that. Yeah. But nonetheless, I do think maybe like an extra little one other tiny
could get a
thing.
little extra sauce. Yeah, just a little extra sauce, but I don't know what it would be. Yeah.
Yeah, not yet, but we'll definitely get there. Okay. Level 15. And for this, I just wrote cool ability because at level 15, Paladins get a cool ability. It's not necessarily connected to their aura, although it can be. It's not necessarily connected to spells, although it could be. It's just like, at level 15, you get something cool. And so I kind of went vague with it. But for me, I went Beam with Pride is the name of my ability. It is another reaction ability that you get. And straight up, it's just the shield spell. And you get to cast it a number of times equal to your charisma modifier.
Damn.
So, and the way I wrote this makes it seem like you're casting the shield spell. In a really technical sense, you're not. You get a +5 to your thing. You're not casting the shield spell. So this can't be counterspelled. This can't be fucked with.
Of the shield spell.
Exactly. It operates like the shield spell in terms of it's a reaction. It's triggered on an attack that would normally bypass your AC or whatever. adds +5 to your AC, all of the things that shield spell does. But in a very technical sense, it is not the shield spell.
Right.
Which is why, like, I was very clear, like, paladins don't get the shield spell, and if you're my particular Oath of Self-Discovery, you do not have the shield spell. You can't cast the shield spell with one of your spell slots because now you're level 15. Like, that's not how I wanted this to play out. I was like, no. You just get this cool ability that acts like the shield spell. And then obviously it kind of, for me, it came from the expression beaming with pride. And so at first I was going to just do like fucking Eldritch Blasts or like laser beams or something. And I was like, that's gnarly as hell, but not the vibe I'm going for. So kind of in line with my channel divinity, my own skin, the idea of like, I'm so fucking awesome that like you can't touch me. And that's exactly what this is. Like, I'm beaming with pride. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. MC Hammer will absolutely sue us. Never mind. that guy needs the money. Okay. What do you got for us?
So for mine, like I said earlier, we're improving that empathic bond. So enhanced empathic bond at level 15. Now you can use your empathic bond once per long rest without using a channel divinity.
Oh.
So I think at this point it would bring you up to 3 uses a day. Depending on how many, I don't honestly know off the top of my head how many channel divinities
I'm looking
Paladins
it up
get.
as we speak, because I think in 2024 it is different then.
Okay. So that's automatically better because now you're not having to use channel divinity. You can use it for something like abjure enemies or something like that. If a bonded, this is where it gets really cool though. If a bonded player would drop to 0 hit points, they drop to 1 instead, and the bond breaks. And then creatures can only receive this benefit once per long rest, even if you reapply the bond. So
that's really cool.
Basically, when you're under the effects of this empathic bond or whatever, the strength of your allies keeps you from dropping to 0 hit points.
Amazing. I have recently learned that channel divinity, you start with 2 uses almost right off the bat, and I think it goes as high as 3.
Okay.
And yeah, because they also changed like divine sense is now like it uses one of your channel divinities, but it is just like an option,
right?
Which I'm not a huge fan of, but it does make a little bit of sense because it's so specific to undead and fiends and stuff. But anyway, we're not talking about paladin base class here. We'll get to that when we get to it. But I like this a lot. Makes sense. Stays on brand. Obviously pretty powerful.
Yeah,
your 15th level, it better be. But
that's kind of the thought process. I went with it. Even into my level, the level 20 thing, it gets even better.
Hell yeah! I love. We went in 2 different directions with the subclasses. In that mine is so insular, where it's just like me. I shield myself. I help myself. I do this, and yours is like we're part of a team. We feel empathy for everyone, and it's 2 different interpretations, which is I love it. It's so funny. All right, level 20.
But that's
capstone.
That's it.
Let's fucking get into it.
Our final thing is the capstone ability at level 20. Paladins are super unique in that they are, I think, the only class in D&D as far as 5th edition in 2024 goes that gets their 20th level ability in their subclass, which I think is really fun. It just provides a lot of individualization and a lot of like low-key persuasion towards staying paladin, you know? Because these capstone abilities are sick, but I think the only reason people would multi-class away from paladin is because number 1, the fewer spell slots if you really want to get deeper into spell slots and stuff. Not to mention how many campaigns are going to level 20. So that's a big part of it, really. That's probably the biggest part of it. Yeah.
But normally what the paladin subclasses do is it's some kind of form that you take on, and like a presence, a souped up ability. You're going Super Saiyan,
Right.
And across the board, there are like the ones that are like slightly less powerful, but they last an hour. And then there are the ones that are like really fucking powerful and they last a minute. And so it looks to me like we both went with the 1 minute ones, which is hilarious.
Yep, sure did.
So I went with my level 20 ability is called the Joy of Pride. And I was trying to think of the opposite word of sin. You know what I mean? Because that's like a stupid argument you hear all the time of like, oh my God, these people are celebrating sin. And it's like, shut the fuck up.
Right.
But also,
right.
What is the antonym of sin? And so I landed on the word joy. I don't know why. I don't necessarily believe that it is a synonym, an antonym, but close enough.
Uh-huh.
So the Joy of Pride. It is a 1 minute long when you activate it. I didn't say what the action economy on that is. Maybe an action, maybe a bonus action. We'll find out. But once per long
I just realized
rest,
I didn't either.
You get that? I know we both dropped it on that one. You can do this once per long rest. Now here is what happens. A couple of things. Number one, that Yolande's regal presence. Mm-hmm. That spell is just active for that full minute, and you don't have to concentrate on it. And the emanation is now 15 feet instead of 10 feet.
Nice.
You also get a 10-foot walking speed, which just means more opportunity to hit more people with your regal presence. Because you're strutting, baby. And there's like the funny stereotype that I genuinely believe is true of like, it really applies more specifically to like gay men. But like the idea that they walk very fast. It's just like a dumb stereotype. It's one of the silly ones, but like that kind of was in my head a little bit. Just like somebody like speed walking down New York City streets and just being like, "Get out of my way!" And it's like really funny to me.
Funny. That's so funny.
And then
baked in now, baby.
And then, in addition to those two things, creatures in your regal presence have disadvantage on being charmed. If they normally have an advantage, then they would roll. Then they roll normally while in the emanation. So
nice.
The Yolande spell thing doesn't actually charm people, but it could do like a wombo combo kind of thing. Because remember, in the oath spells, I put a lot of charm spells in there. Enthrall, charm person,
and since
charm
you're
monster.
doing Yolanda's without concentration, now you can concentrate on having a charm, doing a charm spell.
Exactly.
I like that a lot.
And your friends can do it too. Your friends can charm. So yeah, it's just a really interesting. Once I kind of read that spell, and the name of it really gave it away too. Regal presence. I was like, oh, this is perfect.
Right.
So I kind of was like, I couldn't really think of anything. I was like having a little bit of trouble thinking of where to start with the capstone thing. I was looking at a lot of the other ones. Most of them have, like, we both did it, but most of them have this like 3 bullet points kind of like, here are the 3 things that happen when you go in your form. And so I just followed that trend, but I couldn't really think of anything. I couldn't think of where to start. And so I was like, all right, well, what if it has something to do with this particular spell that I just discovered because it's new to 2024 and I kind of love it. The idea of being so regal that like you walk near somebody and they take psychic damage, fall down, and get pushed away is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
My God, you're dazzling. It's so funny.
Oh no, he's hot.
Slay, queen, slay. Slay your enemies.
Right.
Amazing. Okay, well, that's mine.
Sweet. All right, so mine I've called Stand Together. It's a 1 minute. It's an aura, once per long rest. Probably, I'd probably do this as a bonus action.
I would do mine as an action because it feels strong. I'm gonna say.
Yeah, mine feels kind of strong, but it really is just, again, it's boosting this empathic bond, and empathic bond is bonus action.
That does
so
make sense.
It's kind of just another boost. So now, rather than being limited by your charisma modifier, it goes to all willing creatures within 30 feet, which to me was crazy. Like, just thinking about, like, we have in a lot of our home game stuff, it's more than just the party fighting. It's like the party, and then we generally have an NPC or two sometimes, and like we're moving into now a combat where we're going to have even more NPCs joining the fight. So just being able to have this aura, this 30-foot aura of anyone in there who wants to hop in and help divide the damage up, you know, you get hit for 20, but it's spread out between 20 people. Hey, everybody takes 1 damage. We move on with our lives.
Yeah, that's really cool. Not to mention the fact that it's an aura, and so the amount of strategy that could be had with this is really, really exciting, because it's like you could choose to kind of like step in the aura, help out your friends, take a little, like share the damage. And then if you're like, actually guys, I can't share any more damage, just like take 5-foot step out of the aura and you're good to go. You know, like,
so actually
like that, or is that not how it's set up?
No, it's a little bit better than that, actually.
Oh, incredible.
But so it's all willing creatures within 30 feet. Bullet point number 2, the damage that you take from empathic bond doesn't trigger concentration checks, because the way that it's written, it is just straight up damage that you're taking. So if you are a spellcaster that is concentrating on something, that would trigger a concentration check. Now, as long as the damage that you're taking is from that empathic bond, no concentration check for you. You do take the damage, but you don't have to do a concentration check on it.
Nice.
And then at the start of your turn, if you're in the aura, you can either choose to join the bond or unbond from the group.
There you go. Okay, so kind of similar.
Yeah, so you can choose, so you don't have to like move out of the aura. You can just choose whether or not you're bonded at the start of your turn.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sick.
And and then also on top of that, you've still got the enhanced empathic bond of, you know, if you are bonded and you drop to 0 hit points, you drop to 1 instead.
Yeah, which now is at 30 feet to all willing creatures. Is insane. Is insane.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, that's dope. That's really powerful potentially.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about the 4th level death ward on everybody within 30 feet is gnarly as hell. Which adds even more strategy, because now it comes down to like, hey, I don't know if I can take any more hits, but if I unbond, then I don't get the 1 hit point bounce it back. You know? Correct?
Yep. That's correct. Yeah. If you're not bonded, you will drop to 0 hit points instead of 1.
Woof, man.
And you can only get that 1 hit point thing once per long rest. So like even if you unbond and then rebond or whatever, it's still the way that it's kind of worded, you could still technically jump in to help with the damage division. Like just to rebond in that way, but you would, like I say, like you wouldn't be able to not die.
Right. That particular
to 0
point of the empathic bond is strictly a once a long rest thing.
Right.
Yes, I get that. But it's really nice because so you've added this ability to bond or unbond while still in the thing. But even before that, before level 20, 19 and below, not all the way below, but once you get the empathic bond, then you can choose to step in and out of the aura. If you decide at one point, like, hey, for this next round, I kind of don't want to share damage because I'm weak or don't have a ton of hit points or whatever it may be. So I do like that it provides a level of potential complexity when it comes to battle strategy. I think that's fun.
Yeah. I just kind of like that idea of everybody working together, you know, because I don't know, being a lone wolf for a very long time and then now having kind of a community and having friends and people that I can lean on now is very different. Yeah. Like my life is so much different now than it was growing up.
I'm glad to hear it. That's awesome. Yeah. It's so fun how we went in kind of different directions. Yours is a little bit more about empathy as well as like found family a little bit. Like it has those vibes. And then mine truly is like a little bit closer to like pride. Like this actions speak louder than words one I might change in terms of the tenets. Like if we were, you know, going forward, because eventually we'll put this on the Patreon for free. Right. Because Sharkmaster made it very clear that they wanted this to be put out for free. They want this to be shared with people, and which I love, first of all.
Yeah.
Go follow them on social media. I think they have a TikTok specifically, Sharkmaster, one word. But there might be numbers. I'm so sorry if they're numbers. But anyway, I think this was really fun. This was a really interesting project. I mean, I love doing homebrew anyway because it's just like a fun exercise.
No, this one was like, more introspective than most.
No doubt. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it did feel like the content was, I'm trying to choose the right word. I'm going to say more important. Yeah, it felt more important to like put a little bit more effort into coming up with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not even necessarily from a mechanical standpoint. It was just like, I want to do right by this idea.
Yeah.
I think we both did a great job, though, because I love how different they are. Oath of Self-Discovery and Oath of Self-Discovery. Volume 1 and Volume 2. Or whatever.
Right.
Path A or the left path or the right path or something. The path less traveled? I don't know. Somehow I'll figure out how to differentiate them.
Yeah.
But yeah, these will eventually be on the Patreon. If you're not on the Patreon already, gang, what are you doing? You got to get on the Patreon. Listen up. First of all, we put out so many cool things for free. You just have to be a member. I've already uploaded in advance. Like the month of July is going to go nuts with homebrew items and different like dumb little tchotchkes once a week. Going into like the first half of August, I'll probably continue to put things on there, but between editing and this and that, we have so many cool projects in the works. We are busy bees.
Buzz.
And if you know me, I don't even like bees, so it's a whole thing. I respect them. Let me be so fucking clear. I love pollinators. They're important for the entire planet. I just don't gotta hang out with them. They're stingy. They're scary.
Right.
Get out of here.
Right.
Pollinate over there. I'm not a flower. I'm a human being. God, how long of your life did you think human being was actually human being? Just me? Great.
I don't think I ever thought that.
Anyway, thank you, Fresca, for sponsoring this episode.
Yeah, no, that's all we can get into this time. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at Soyouwannabeadm, or you can ask us a question at soyouwannabeadm@gmail.com. If you like the episode, don't forget to give us 5 stars in a review wherever you found us. And check out the Patreon, the Twitch, and the merch. The link in the description. Join us next time for more Dungeon Master tips and tricks.
Bye.
See ya.
And now I get to shout out the members of our Patreon gang. Nub Muffins, may Paylord's light shine upon you. And then there's Tappy, Molly, and Elijah. Thank you all so much for being members of our Patreon gang. Remember, you can find the link to that in the description of the episode. And also remember this. We love you. Thanks again, and tune in next time for more tips and tricks from So You Wanna Be a DM.